Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, with Hurricane Helene heading for Florida as a likely major hurricane, we'll take a look at how the storm could impact Kentucky. Plus, many students across the United States make time for prayer today. We'll take you to a See You at the Pole event in Perry County.
And we're seeing lots of rain out there, and we'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's been a rainy afternoon and the wet weather could continue all the way through the weekend. There are some wind and flooding concerns thanks to what will become the remnants of Hurricane Helene. So our First Alert Weather Day continues. Meteorologist Eric Dean has the latest. Eric.
All right, good evening, Steve. Good evening, everybody. We are just getting some new information into the First Alert Weather Center as of right now. Looking at the Kentucky Mesonet stations, Harlan County in the past 24 hours has picked up 3.01 inches of rain. Again, just over 3 inches being reported now in Harlan County. Other places, especially south of the Hal Rogers Parkway and east, picking up between 8,600 of an inch to about 1.5 inches of rain. So there's some good news there, but in terms of how fast it's coming down, it's not necessarily good news at all, as now flooding will be a major concern. All right, so here's the latest with live pinpoint Doppler radar, and we'll go ahead and pinpoint over towards portions of Harlan County, and you can see right there where we're seeing that orange and red just to the east of Harlan, between Harlan and Pennington Gap. That's where the heaviest rain is being picked up right now. A couple other places we'll pinpoint as we zoom out. And you can take a look here. We are seeing a little bit of clearing now from London down to Monticello, but from Jackson and points north, east, and south, we're still seeing some heavy rain. You can see it's raining right now in Hazard, where we find temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, even low 50s over towards Clintwood. I'll have your complete First Alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
All right, thank you very much. Well, storm preps are well underway, of course, as folks brace for the system that is Helene in Florida. People are filling sandbags there with the storm intensifying in the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Meteorologists now say the storm could reach Category 4 strength. More than 40 million people in Florida, Alabama, and Georgia are under hurricane and tropical storm warnings. Rain, as Eric mentioned, continues in our forecast as we continue to keep our eye on potential flooding concerns. Some models are projecting parts of the state to get anywhere between 4 to 6 inches of rain in the next few days. And state officials are urging folks to be prepared. With Helene potentially heading toward Kentucky, we could see flash flooding concerns and strong wind gusts, both of which can be damaging to property.
We always want to talk about high wind causing power outages, flooding causing the need to get to high ground. What might be a real problem in eastern Kentucky, 4 or 5 inches in a localized area may not always be a huge issue in another part of our state where it's maybe not so prone to flooding.
Roads and properties in parts of eastern Kentucky's floodplain, as well as people in places near streams and rivers, will need to be cautious as more rain rolls in. In Lee County, 3 people are busted for allegedly trying to get drugs into the Three Forks Regional Detention Center. The Sheriff's Department says Cheyenne Haddix, Eric Smith, and Jeremy Patton had a plan to bring the drugs into the jail, but thanks to the jail staff and the Lee County jailer, that plan failed. Haddix was charged with trafficking in a controlled substance and promoting contraband. Patton and Smith were charged with conspiracy to promote contraband. A bus passenger is dead after a gunman hijacked a Los Angeles Metro bus overnight. Witnesses say the incident started around 12:45 a.m. local time when an armed man hijacked the bus and took hostages in South Los Angeles. The LAPD found the stopped bus and urged the suspect to surrender with PA announcements. That's when the bus started rolling, leading police on an hour-long slow-speed chase. Police say the man shot is believed to be a passenger. He died at a local hospital. A bipartisan Senate committee has revealed its report on the first Trump assassination attempt. It details lapses in preparation the day former President Donald Trump was shot at a rally in Pennsylvania. According to the report, Secret Service agents could not agree who was responsible for decision-making leading up to that day. Secret Service agents and local law enforcement also failed to set up visual barriers that may have blocked the shooter's view of Trump. The Department of Justice has charged 58-year-old Ryan Routh with trying to kill Donald Trump. Routh was arrested after federal investigators say he went to the former president's golf club in Florida earlier this month to assassinate Trump. Routh has been charged with attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate and will be arraigned on Monday. The two presidential candidates went to a couple of key battleground states today to talk about critical issues on the minds of voters, at the top being the economy. CBS's Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington.
Vice President Kamala Harris arrived at the Pittsburgh Economic Club to lay out her vision for the American economy.
I have pledged that building a strong middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
Harris says her plan involves three key pillars: lowering costs for American families, investing in innovations and entrepreneurs, and ensuring America leads in future industries, including artificial intelligence.
The next generation of breakthroughs, from advanced batteries to geothermal to advanced nuclear, are not just invented, but built here in America by American workers.
If she has a plan, she should stop grandstanding and do it. Just do it.
Campaigning near Charlotte, North Carolina, Trump tried to tie Harris to President Biden's economic record.
Kamala Harris is a one-woman economic wrecking ball. And this November, the people of North Carolina are going to tell her we've had enough. We can't take it anymore. Kamala Harris, you're fired. Get out. You're fired. You did a lousy job as vice president.
Not on hand for Trump's visit, Mark Robinson, North Carolina's embattled Republican gubernatorial candidate, who's alleged to have posted racist comments on a porn site. So far, Trump has not pulled his endorsement. Robinson tweeted Wednesday he's reaching out to the Republicans who have stopped supporting him, saying, "Now is not the time for intra-party squabbling and nonsense. We have 41 days to make our case. We can't do it without all hands on deck." Absentee voting began in North Carolina on Tuesday. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
And we are now less than 1 week away from the next big campaign event, the only vice presidential debate. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, the Republican candidate, is taking on Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic candidate. This is a CBS News debate and will be moderated by CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan, the host of Face the Nation. Of course, you can see it live here on WYMT. A report shows Boeing employees felt pressured to focus on production speed over quality. The summary comes from a special investigation published by the FAA and made public by a Senate subcommittee. Boeing has faced multiple investigations since a door plug blew off a 737 MAX flight in midair back in January. In response to the new report, Boeing says they have taken steps to create a safety culture that encourages workers to share their voice. The fourth Wednesday in September is recognized by students across the nation as See You at the Poll Day. WYMT's Madison Carmouche caught up with those participating at the prayer event at Perry County Central High School.
Riley Adams is just one of many students who finds community through faith.
You have that same common ground and you're able to just grow together. So you're able to share your burdens and know that someone is praying for you and know that someone cares about it instead of just hoping that they do.
Adams says the prayer club at Perry County Central High School goes beyond See You at the Poll.
But since they have this community, it makes them feel more comfortable to, hey, I have people who are standing on my side. I have people who are ready to back me up, and I have people who are ready to do this with me.
Prayer Club teacher sponsor Brandy Gearing says the Prayer Club started when a student asked her to sponsor See You at the Poll several years ago.
And I know I was reading some about it yesterday, and it started with just a student that wanted this to happen, and then it's just grown. So God has just definitely blessed that and continued it throughout the United States.
Gearing adds she is glad the school allows students to make a choice about praying together.
I mean, it also allows students to come together that normally you wouldn't see together, and then it allows them to realize that they do have a common bond. So it gives them friends that they normally wouldn't have actually had.
Adam says she is grateful the prayer club creates a safe space for her and her peers.
I think it's a really good thing that we're able to do this, and I think that it helps people feel more comfortable about their faith.
The club meets every morning before school. In Perry County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
Perry County Central certainly not the only school in the area to have an event today. Many schools advertise their gatherings on social media. Coming up on Mountain News at 5.